Hello everyone and welcome to another fly tying session. My name is Daniel and I run the webshop Nordic Anglers that sells a lot of fly fishing and fly tying. Today we're going to tie a salmon fly. We're going to tie this. This is basically a pattern that is an interpretation of the theme of the color scheme from the very popular and well-known Pahtakorva made by Michael Fudin. But this is a pattern that I stumbled on I think it was Instagram. This is a pattern done by a Dane whose name is Johan Flyvberg, and this is just one of those patterns that when you see it, you just have to tie them because you just instinctively know this is going to be a deadly pattern, in particular in the fall. This has the three hackles as the Tilda and horse sock and all those other patterns called gesture, but it's slightly bigger, and then the color scheme here is this well-proven color scheme from the Pahtakorva. So this is a fly I am very eager to have in my box to get out there and to fish, and I'm sure this is gonna find me some salmon here in this fall. Now we're gonna tie one of these, so stay tuned, here goes. Hvor det fedt det der! First thing we need is of course a tubing. I'm going to use a 1.8mm tube because that will fit with both Futurefly and Pro Sportsfisher. And we're just gonna heat it up so we have this small stop for the tube. Add it to the tube needle, and then basically just start with the tying thread. The first section of the body is going to be made from Frodin SSS Holo Braid in bronze. Perfect and ideal color for this fly, for this color scheme for this fly. And basically I'm going to tie this in here, and then I'm going to turn it around and then move this close up to itself but not on top, and then back the other way. This is going to be the first section of the body here. Basically, this is a bit larger fly, so we're going to make this first section about maybe 7mm or so. I think 7mm is probably what this is. And if it is 6, then that's okay as well. And then we're going to have the first hackle. The first hackle is going to be ring-necked rump. So is the last one, but the first one is going to be brown, chocolate brown, and the last one is going to be black. So basically I just pick out one of these. And there are a bit variation on size on these, so you can decide actually exactly how big you want this by how big you want the first hackle here. These are feathers that kind of is like a bit like heron, and also very similar to the red feathers on the golden pheasant. Makes a really nice ideal first hackle for this type of fly. Because it's longer, so it's gonna stand out quite a lot and look really good without being too dense. There we go. Gonna secure this hackle with the tying thread. Then we need to add a few strands of flash, crystal flash in pearl, and because I just did this in Danish, I have a small bundle of this laying around it that has the the right length. Maybe 4 or 5 or 6 strands. It's not that important. Just not too much and not too little. Basically, you could tie these down one at a time, but you could also just kind of try to spread them out between your fingers and then see how this goes. Maybe adjust them a bit, but basically I'm pretty satisfied with this. You can draw some of them around on the tube here if it's not evenly distributed, but this is quite nice now. Gonna cut some of the ends here so they're not too long. I don't want them to be longer than the actual the actual hackle. Cut away that leftover, and then we need to make the first section with the dubbing. The dubbing we're going to use is also UfoDisc. This is a nice color called, again, Rusty. SSS dubbing in Rusty. And basically I'm going to take, there's a lot of flash in here. So basically I'm going to take some of this and then apply it to the tube. Just move it up here. There we go. Add a bit more dubbing. There's a lot of flash material inside this dubbing as well, which gives it a really nice look. And you can of course pick some of this out with your dubbing needle or your scissors or whatever, so you get a more get a body with some nice shimmer effect. There we go. Then we're gonna use the second hackle, and for this we're gonna use a really hot orange colored one. Because again this is gonna fit the color scheme of the Pahtakorva. Then we're gonna use a fluorescent orange one. It kind of makes this fly stand out, and this is gonna be kind of the fixating point of the salmon or sea trout, because this is basically going to be really good for sea trout as well. So we take a hackle that has a really intense color here, and then basically turn that one here on the middle, just in front of the second part of the body, the dubbing is. Let's see, maybe I think that will suffice. That's the right density now. Cut away the hackle, apply some tying thread, and then basically I need to do a whip finish, because we need to add the bead now, the Flexi bead, which adds the weight to the fly, and it's also going to be the last section of the body. So a quick whip finish. Cut away the tying thread, apply a bit of Sabagap, just to make the fly more durable and for it to stay in place. Then we take the 5.2 millimeter Pro Sportsfisher Flexi bead. Then reattach the tying thread, and then we're gonna have the last hackle up here. A hackle, some jungle cock, and then cone head, and the fly is done. So we need a black hackle now. And again, I'm gonna take one of the ringneck rump in black. Removing all. No, that broke. That was annoying. Just gonna take another one. This one looks quite nice. Is there a hackle plier on the table over there, Stefan? You found me one? Nope. I must have left all of those at home. Well, luckily I have a fly tying shop, so I have more hackles at hand. Gonna pick this one. I'm gonna remove all the oh, there was one on the vise, but that's okay. I'm gonna remove all the fluffy part here of the hackle, and then I'm gonna tie this down in the tip, because that's easier. There we go. Securing it. Now I have the hackle stem on this one, so I can basically turn this without having to need a hackle plier. There we go. securing the hackle with the tying thread. And as you can see, the hackles here, they really complement each other really well. We're gonna use the cone head to make the hackle fold down on, so it's not gonna be as big and as erratic. But before we do that, we need some jungle cock, and for this, I really like using the Pro Sportsfisher jungle cock, because basically you can buy a really big sheet like this or a smaller sheet like this, and these are very durable and very nice colored. So they are the best I've tried. That's why I keep using those. And for the original pattern that Johan did, he made the jungle cock fairly long, so we're gonna do that as well. Gonna add one to each side here. Use some force to really clamp down on these. Then with the scissor, try to cut as close to this as possible. I'm gonna make a whip finish. There we go. Apply some Sabagap. And then the finishing touch is going to be a small cone head. Really small one, 4 millimeters or so. I don't know if this is from Pro or this is from Futurefly, but there they are. Oh, this is actually a Futurefly one. But the ones from Pro works equally as well. So basically there we have it. Gonna remove this from the vise, cut away close to the cone head, then melt the tube back and then pull it over the needle again, so it will stay open. The tube will have a big hole in it still. Well, basically there you have it. The 3-hackled, sock-inspired, Pahtakorva color-schemed salmon fly, designed by Johan Flyvberg. Ready to go. Well, there you have it, the finished result, the final fly. Composed, as I said, by Johan Flyvberg, and basically just, yeah, I mean, this is just one of those things where it just feels completely right. It just looks completely right. So I would urge you to get the materials, to go and try out tying some of these, because this is a fly pattern I'm sure we haven't heard the last of. This is for sure gonna be one of those I'm gonna fish a lot with this fall. So thank you a lot for watching, and remember, you can get all the materials for for this pattern and all the other patterns at Nordic Anglers. That's our web shop, where we also have almost anything you could ever imagine needing as an avid fly fisherman. So swing by Nordic Anglers, that would mean a lot to us. Otherwise, I wish you all the best of luck out on the water.